Welcome to episode 6 of the Django and React full course. In the last video, we worked on connecting the front end to the back end with Django course. So right now, it's time for us to start writing the functions. So we're going to write some functions that's going to make an API call to our backend. So the first function we're going to write is called getBlogs. The function is going to be responsible for fetching our blog to display on the home page like this. Right, right now we want to display the blogs on the home page like this, right? So we're going to write a function that's going to make the API to the backend to fetch these blogs. So over here now we're going to say function. So we're going to say get blogs. So this is some Java. We are going to write some JavaScript now. I'm going to say function get blogs, right? And then so we're going to then say we're going to use a try catch. I'm going to say try. So first thing first. This is going to be an asynchronous function. I'm going to say async. It's going to be an async await function. So first thing first, we're going to say const response should be equal to. So we're going to say API. Remember in the last episode we configured API, this API here, to make our request to the backend, right? So we're going to say over here, we're going to say API.get. And remember from our backend now, this is our domain. This is our endpoint to get the blogs. Yeah, this is the endpoint. It's called blog list. This is the endpoint, blog underscore lists. So we're going to say API.get blog lists. So this is going to be going to be an asynchronous event. So we're going to just say await. So we're going to await it. Await, right? And then we're going to just say return response data response.data. So if there's an error, we're going to check out. We're going to use a catch block to catch the error. I'm going to say catch. I'm going to say error. I'm going to just say sorry. We're going to just simply just throw a new error. I'm going to say throw new error. I'm going to say error.message. Yep, so we're going to export this function. We're going to export it so we can import it in a different file. So once we've done this now, we have to import API. So just remove some of the text and type it back slowly. Yeah, here's the import. An API has been imported for us on here. So that's it. So now right now we're going to use React query to make our fetch request. We're going to use React query. So here's the function that's going to help us fetch the blog. So we have to call this function using React query. So over to your browser now. Let's see what React query is. I'm going to say it's called. So we're going to search for tanstack query. So with React query, it has a lot of beautiful and amazing features. Click on the first link. Come on. So we're going to just click on. Okay, we're here now. Click on read the docs. So now here we are on the page now, on the docs page. So over here, you can just read a brief overview. This is a brief overview of it. So click on installation on the left. Installation, click on it. I don't know why the page is taking time to load up. So right here, we are on the installation page now. So first thing, we have to install it now. So the command is this. You can see, just copy this one, npm I, and this stands the first command. That's it. Copy it back to your React, back to your code now. Back here, just simply paste it there. npm install tanstack on the / React query. So npm install at tanstack / React query. Right, so that's the command there. So let's wait for it to get installed. So while it is getting installed, so let's see how to set up React query for our project. So click on quick start. So right now, click on the quick start button. Click on the quick start link on the left. Click on it. Come on. So we have to do a few configuration now, a quick one. So after you might have installed React query, so right now we have to come back over to your project now, over to your app.js file. So over to your app.js file, here we are. So quickly up here, I'm going to just say, let's say const query clients. Const query clients should be equal to new query clients. Yeah, new query clients. Yeah, so it's has been imported up here. Back to the setup file, back to where we are here. After you've done the new query clients now, so you have to use the query clients provider. Let's use that quickly. So over here, we're going to wrap our entire app. We're going to wrap all those stuff there with, we're going to say query clients provider. Suggest it for me, provider. Yeah, here it is. So close it, and then we're going to say client should be equal to query clients. They'll just simply close up the entire browser router. And yeah, this is what you have to do. So now we just set up our React query. So it's time for us to use the React query, right? So you can see how they use it. You can see how to make queries here. You can see it here. It's simple. So use query. So let's do that right away. Back to our home page. We're going to make the query on the home page. Well, before we do that, let's see one more stuff. Scroll down. I click on queries. In this guys and concepts, click on queries. In the guys and concepts, this is too big. Click on queries, too small. So you can read about queries and how you can make your queries. You understand? So right now, let's use this example we have here. You can just this one that helps us fetch to dos. Let's use this example. You can copy this, yeah. So under queries here, under guys and concept, on the left here, scroll down to guys and concept under queries. So I copied this back to our app components, back to our home page. Remember, we are trying to fetch the blogs, and the blogs are on the home page. They are on the home page, right? They are here. So why are the image not showing? So they are here, right? So I'm going to go over to our home page components. That's under the pages folder, home page. Okay. So once you are here, what's the next step? So I'm going to paste what we copied. Yep. Let me just do this from scratch. See, instead of going here. So I'm going to say const data. Const data should be equal to, I'm going to say use query. So here is it. It's from Tanstack React query. And then we're going to have our dictionary. We're going to say query key should be equal to, we're going to say blogs. Then we're going to say query function should be equal to, so our query function is going to be this function we declared in the API.js. This function we declared here called getBlogs. Here's our query function. It's called getBlogs. So back to our home page now. Query function is going to be getBlogs. We're trying to get the blogs. So here is it. So that's our query function now. So it's as simple as that. So once I console.log data, console.log data, let's see what it gives us. So this blocks is just serving like a key to our blogs data. It's serving like a key to the block to our blogs data, right? So now we just let's console our data and see what data gives us to the browser. Hope everything is running. Scroll down. I think everything is fine. Back here, refresh the page. Inspect. I want this to be on the right. Click on your console. Right now, the data is saying undefined. What could be the problem? So currently, I tried consoling out data. Data is currently saying undefined. That means something is happening. Data has no value. And if you check the backend, this is the backend now. The backend does not show that you are making any request to the backend. Does not show it that it does not show that at all. It does not show that any request is being made to the backend. So over to our code now. Let's do the one of our code. So back to my api.js file, I made a mistake. This is meant to be 8001, not 30, but two zeros. That was the mistake I made there. So our base URL was wrong. So I just corrected it now. So back to the server again. Let's see if there's going to be an improvement. It still says undefined. It says the same origin policy. Okay, we're having some issue with course. We're having some issue with course now. What could be the problem with course? Right now, what I did now is this nice. Instead of having to destructure data, I had to simply return the entire object. Data is data. I had to simply return the entire object. It can be called whatever name you like. So previously, I had to do something like this. I destructured data, but right now I decide to simply return the entire object. And back to what we have here, to the server. I refresh the page. Right now, you can see now we're getting a response. You can see we're getting this now. Come on, stop taking time to load. So it's up now. So if you open this object, you're going to see all the information you need. All the information you're looking for is here. So open the object. So previously, I destructured it by returning only data. So I'm going to open this object now. You can see we have our data. The data we have here is the blog. It's all the blogs. If I open it, oh, it says undefined. The block currently says undefined. If I say is error is true, is fetched, is true. But data is one that owns our blogs, but it says undefined. What could be the issue right now? Our data has been showing undefined. I've been showing undefined for quite some while now. So I had to restart the backend server. Let's refresh this page again. Fresh. I had to simply break the backend server, Control C, right, and then run server again to fix the problem, and everything is back again. This should be throw new error. I was trying out something. I had to pause the video to try so because throw new error. Okay. Yeah, so I think we are back on track. So I can see this, and we can see now, and you can see an object is being returned repeatedly, right? So I'm going to open this object right now. You can see it contains data. The error message is error, is fetched, is loading, is pending. So if we open data, you can see data has an array of 12 objects. That's our blog array. So I'm going to close it back. So we're going to say is pending. Is pending is currently saying false. That means our blog, that means the fetch request is no longer pending. That means the fetch request has been made. If you check is fetched says true, right? So is pending says false. So you can see his error says false. There's no error. Error message is null. Our data is an array of 12 objects. So we are good now. So back to React query now, back to our home page. So right now we're going to simply destructure the objects. I'm going to return is pending. I'm going to say is error. You can see we got all of them here. They are all here. You can see them. They are all here. We only need about 4 of them. Is pending, is error. You also need error. And lastly, we need data. And data is the blogs itself. And we are going to rename data to blogs. Right. So right now we're going to just simply console.log blogs. So right now I want to just return only the blogs to the console. So refresh, clear. You can see now we have 12 blocks. It's an array of 12 objects, right? So back to our backend code. Let me show you what the backend looks like. Here's our backend where we have 12 blocks. Understand? So the block consists of the title, the body, the thumbnail, the category. Understand? So just go watch the backend videos. You understand how we came about the blog, right? So we've got that now. We've got our objects. We've got our data. So it's time for us to proceed. So we've got our blogs now. So what we are going to do is I want to simply render out these blogs, right? We want to render them out. So right now, before we render it out, we want to add a loading spinner that tells us that our blog is being fetched, right? So remember we have this is pending. If is pending is true, that means the blog is fetching. If is pending is false, that means we already got our blogs, right? So back to our code, now back to the browser. We're going to use a library called React Spinner. It's called React Spinner. So I'm going to be very fast with this now. React Spinner, let's click on the GitHub link. So I'm going to create a new component. Back to our UI components folder, create a new file. I'm going to call this spinner.jxx. Enter. Let's say array FCE. Come on, yep, enter. Let's close some of this stuff we don't need. Close. So here now, scroll down. I'll copy the code quickly. So we're going to just import clip loader from React Spinner clip loader. So I have to also install React Spinner. So here's the components, paste it here. And over here, I'm going to just simply say npm install React. Hope I'm correct. If you just copy this command, copy, paste it here, enter. While it is installing, let's go configure it. We already have clip loader installed. We're going to copy the style, also copy. And then we're going to paste it just before the components outside it. We have to remove this CSS properties. We don't need it. It's meant for TypeScript, but we are using JavaScript. So what's next thing? Let's copy this clip loader, copy. And then we replace the div with the clip loader. Yeah, so we're going to remove loading out. So we have to remove color first. Color should be out, loading also out. Yeah, so as for the size, I want it to be 450. For the color, as for the border color, I need purple. So these are spinner, perfect now. So back to the home page. So we're going to say just say if is pending is true. Say if is pending. We simply return our spinner. Am I correct? No, I think I'm wrong. We're not going to do that here. Because if we do that on the home page, so we're going to just come over here, over to our blog container. We're going to pass a pending into the blog container. So we're going to pass it into his blog container. If it's pending, I'm going to simply just show the spinner. Yeah, so over to our blog container. Yeah, you. So we're going to receive a pending. So if his pending is true, if is pending, it's called is, not the A. If is pending is true, I want to simply return the spinner. Remember, if the spinning is true, it simply means that the data is still being fetched. Return spinner. Suggest it for me. So now, yeah. So we got that already to the browser. Refresh. You can see now we have the spinner there. Perfect. Now, so right now let's display the blogs. What's going on? Let's display the blogs right away. So before I display the blogs, I want to explain what's going on here. So we had to use React query, right? We had to use this use query. Use query as a query key, and we called it blogs. Remember, we are trying to fetch blogs, right? And as a query function, this query function is an actual function we declared here in the API blog.js. Looking for the file. I think it's in the services folder. So yeah, here's the let me just, this is to, yeah, here's the function. So this function must be a function that returns a promise. That's how React query works. The function must always return it must always return a promise. That's why you have to use async await, because async await will always return a promise, right? So we got the function over here, we pass it here, and then React query will do its thing. So we have to destructure the object React query returns. We have to destructure it, getting is spending is error, the error message itself, and then the data itself, right? So now we've got our blogs. This is our blogs here. This data, we have to rename data to blogs. So you're going to pass our blogs, Ctrl C. We'll pass it down to blog container equal to blogs. And let's just console the blogs again so you can see the objects, so you can see the properties it contains. I'm going to say console.log blogs. Right. So back here, open, inspect, console. So here's our blogs now. If you open it, you're going to see it as, you can see it as the title, the slug, the author is an object, the category, the content, the featured image, everything is there, right? So back to, so we pass the blogs as a prop to blog container, and in blog container we have to receive it. And back to, we have to then pass these blogs down to, okay, we have to now simply map through the blogs. Let's say blogs.map. Then we're going to have the individual blog. And then what next? I'll just simply map out this blog card. Let's simply remove the other ones. And then you have to pass this, give this a key prop. That's going to be equal to blog.id. Right, so you have to then pass the blog objects as a prop to the blog card components. Yeah, so over to our blog card now, we have to simply receive the prop called blog. Yeah, so now right now what do we do now? The first thing we have to do, I think it's now simple now. So right now, as for the title of our blog, the first thing is the thumbnail. The thumbnail, let's see what thumbnail looks like. Here's the featured image. This is the thumbnail. You can see it here. Featured image. This is the thumbnail. The thumbnail only contains the path to the image. And for this to work, we also need to append the base URL to the paths for us to get the thumbnail, for us to see the image. And remember, in our API.js file, in the API.js file, I had to declare a variable. Yeah, API.js file. So in our API.js file, we have this variable this base URL. This is our backend URL. So we need this backend URL in our blog card, because I said earlier that we need to append our backend URL to the image parts, to the image link, right? So we have to make sure we have to export. So I'm going to say export base URL. So once we've done that, then we can import it here. So here's our image. So for the source over here, I'm going to use a template. I'm going to use JavaScript template literals, and then we're going to then say base URL. Remember, this is our backend URL. Here it is. Click on it, and then we're going to then also include the blog. Remember, blog dots. What's the name again? Blog dots featured image. It's called featured image, right? Featured underscore image. Blog dot featured underscore image. So that's what we need to do, and let's see if it works. The browser. You can see now we've got our images. You can see, right? Perfect. You see we have these different images. Let's look on the title. Here's the title now. We're going to just say blog the title. And where's the category? The category is in the badge. So we're going to pass blog as a prop over to the badge. And open the badge now. Open the badge components. We have to receive this prop. Receive it. And you have to see me come over here and say blog that's category. Yep, so that's for the badge. So over to our code now. You can see now we have the backend, the front, the full stack backend. You can see it's now dynamic. And as for the title is also dynamic now. And as for the user, okay, so right now it's time for us to return the author's information, like the author's picture and the name, and the first name and last name, with also the time the blog was published. So we're going to add all these right away. Okay, so let's go down to our data and see what it looks like. So we have where are you? We have the author object. You can see it has the first name, the last name. What else are we missing? Oh, we also need to return the author's profile picture. So back to our backend in the serializers. Yeah, you show yourself. Just say return the author profile underscore picture. So let's wait for the server to finish running. Okay, yeah, now refresh. So right now, there's the author. So if you open the author's objects, you can see right now we have the profile picture, right? Okay, so thanks to the author's components. So we're over to our blog card. So we have this card footer. This card footer is what holds the author's information, right? So I'm going to pass this blog as a prop over to the card footer. We have to receive it inside of the card footer components. And yeah, so over here, as for the author's image, remember we are going to use the base URL. Then I'm going to say base underscore URL. Come on. Yeah, and then we're going to then put in the author's image. I'm going to say blog.author.profile underscore picture. For the author's name, it's going to be blog.author dot first name, and on over I'm going to say blog.author dot last underscore name. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, it's working. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, so you have it now. So right now, on the right now, we have the time the blog was published. We also need to return this time, right? So we check our if you check the object, we have the published date there. So, but this date, that time we have there is not friendly. It is not human. It's not friendly. So you have to make the time friendly. Back to our code now. We're going to create a new file. So we're going to create a new file in the services folder. We're going to call this new file format dates.js. So we're going to have a function that will help us make the dates human. That's going to make the dates friendly. So I'll paste the function here. So here's the function now. So we also had to export the function, and back to our cart footer. We're going to come over here. And what's the name of the function again? The function is called format dates. Copy it. The cart footer. Remove this. And we'll simply have format dates. Let's import it. Come on. It's enter, and then we're going to simply say blog.published underscore dates. And let's see what it looks like. You can see now it's correct, right? So without this format dates, let me show you. You can see here's how it's going to look like without the format dates function. Going to see how it's going to look quite scary. You won't understand what's happening there. You can see. So this is not friendly. Or where are the others? You only have one. Blog.publish dates. So right now you can see how the date is not looking friendly at all. It's looking so long. So right now with the format date function, we're going to have the dates much more user friendly, what users can easily understand. Right? So you can see it's better, right? So now our home page is fully built up. It's looking fine, excellent, right? So I think we are done with the home page, right? So in the next video, we're going to work on pagination. So we are not meant to list out all our blogs on the home page. We're meant to have several pages instead, something like this. Click on page 2, you go over to page 2, click on page 3, you go over to page 3, right? So we're not meant to have everything on the home page. So in the next episode, we're going to cover pagination in using Django and React. So without further ado, see you there.